welcome to Pet Pals. We hope you had a great holiday, and now we are back into the mix of things and ready to introduce you to some great adoptable pets. I am Bethany Davidson, the humane educator here at Frederick County Animal Control, and the first pet that volunteer Tammy has with us today is Zoe, and Zoe is one of the many adoptable black animals that we have right now. Black animals often have a much more difficult time finding a home for a lot of reasons. It's cats, dogs, rabbits, all of them, because there are just so much more of them, so many more of them. They don't necessarily stand out as well. All of our black animals are going to be adopted for a $20 reduction in their adoption fee during the month of January, because black never goes out of style, and that's something that Zoe knows very well. Zoe is a lab mix. She's black and white. She's 3 to 4 years old. And she is also one of our shy dogs, which could extend her stay. She's a little nervous about new things, but once she gets comfortable with someone, as you can see how comfortable she is with Tammy, she definitely opens right up. She knows that there's treats, she knows that there's toys, she knows that there's somebody who's going to provide her with lots of love. So the reason Zoe came to us was that their landlord would not allow another pet in the home. I guess there was already an existing lab in the home, so they had to make that difficult decision to reduce their pet number in their household by 1. So Zoe, unfortunately, was the one that ended up here in the shelter. They owned her for about a year. They say that she's friendly, playful, energetic, a barker, jumper, rides well in the car, chewer, just some puppy things that maybe she might need some additional training with, but that she also loves to play fetch. Here in the shelter, she has been, again, very shy. So we behavior assess all of our animals, and the things that our staff noted is that she's definitely cautious. She does take some time to warm up to people. If she doesn't come right up to the kennel for you, give her another chance. She reacts favorably to other dogs. She's easy to obtain. She can be difficult to walk sometimes because she startles easily. She kind of lags behind a little bit. But she loves to be petted. She's just going to make someone a great dog if they have the patience and just the gentleness to help her feel secure in a new environment. If you're interested in Zoe, you can visit her here at Frederick County Animal Control and Pet Adoption Center, 1832 Rosemont Avenue. Our next dog is Wendy, and she is a beagle mix. She's about 2 years old. She came to us as a previously owned dog. Wendy is very playful, she's very cute, she's very energetic, she has a lot of great qualities, but we want every adopter to know that Wendy is listed as a potentially dangerous dog. Some people might find that as a turnoff. There's a lot of different classifications as to what a potentially dangerous dog is. So in Wendy's case, she was allowed to be unsupervised, and she escaped from her previous home 3 times within a 6-month period. She's not bitten anyone, she just likes to roam and escape. Therefore, she has been deemed potentially dangerous. So we want to make sure that everybody is reading her profile thoroughly, because people are going to see her and they're going to think, oh, she's a great size, she's super cute, I want to take her home and make her part of my family. But there are things that you have to be prepared to deal with as well. So according to her previous owner, she was relinquished just because they were unable to maintain her safely. She has been with other dogs, it says. She's been with children of all ages. They list her as playful, energetic, friendly, a jumper, barker, walks well on leash, rides well in the car. She is a roamer and a wanderer and a chaser. They say that she is also house trained and she loves to play. So she has a lot of these great qualities, but you have to really take into consideration, do you have a secure home for her where she's not going to be able to escape? Are you capable of supervising her? In her behavior assessment, our texts say that she's very sweet. She can be a little bit nervous. She either gets excited, wants to play with other dogs, or has no reaction, just depends on the dog. She can be a little nervous, lagging behind her handler and startling, but for the most part, she's easy to walk. She likes to be petted. So she just needs a home that's going to understand primarily how to keep her safe and secure. Our next dog is one of the puppies that we have available. We don't get puppies this young very often. Kiona is about 4 months old, and she is a Doberman mix. She's the standard black and tan. She is super cute, but she is all puppy, which means she's full of energy and has no manners. Just like any baby of any species, she is relying on someone else to teach her what's appropriate behavior. So puppies are not easy. They require a lot of work on the part of the adopters and owners. You know, if you want her to be a well-behaved, quiet, you know, well-mannered dog, then you have to teach her to be. Otherwise, she's gonna do whatever she wants. And then the problem is, once they get a little bit bigger, and you know, the owners haven't put any effort into training them, then they end up back here at the shelter a little bit harder to adopt because they're larger and they have no manners. They're a little bit more unmanageable. So because puppies are such a large responsibility, we do charge a larger fee for them. So puppies are adopted for $150, and there is a larger application that goes with that. So it asks additional questions about breed experience with Kiona, because Dobermans have some quirks. We are looking for somebody who has Doberman experience. It's not required, but it is preferred. So it'll ask you about your experience with the breed, experience with having a puppy. You know, do you have a plan? Do you have training methods? What have you done to figure out, you know, what's required of owning a puppy? So we have those additional things that we ask you about. The biggest thing is that she is not housebroken. So if you are looking for a dog that is perfectly housebroken, then a puppy is not going to be for you. She definitely needs someone who's committed to working with her in that regard. She's very sweet. She's very friendly. She was brought to us because the owner's landlord said they could not have a pet. So that is one of the many reasons why we here check with your landlord before you are able to adopt, because we don't want a dog like Kiona to end up back here with us because the landlord doesn't allow it. She is your typical puppy. She's a little nervous in new environments, but she's playful, she's friendly, she's energetic, she's, you know, all of those typical things. And then she can be a little bit nervous of fast movement, so really paying attention to that, especially if there are young children in the home. If you're interested in Kiona, you can visit with her here at Animal Control. We are open to the public 6 days a week, Monday through Saturday. This is boxer mix Nia, and she is beautiful white and brindle, and she's about 3 years old. She's got the cutest little face, and she came to us because she was not getting along with her sister in the home. So they adopted 2 dogs at the same time, or it was an existing dog, whatever the case may be. They only had Nia for about 4 months, so they made the decision, since she wasn't getting along with the other dog, to bring her here. Nia is a very sweet, very goofy, but she can be easily overwhelmed, and she can be a little unsure of new things. For that reason, we want her to go to an adult-only home. Only homes tend to be quieter. There's not as much commotion, fast movement going on, which will allow her to feel more comfortable and make sure that she's not going to have any negative reactions out of fear. Our goal is to place animals not just with families, but place them with the right families where they're going to be comfortable and happy and have a good quality of life and be well cared for. Here, you know, the only information that we got from the previous owners is that she could be a little shy, a little afraid of strangers, but she is playful and energetic and walks well on the leash, rides well in the car. And as we've seen, she freely gives kisses. She maybe thinks that she's a little bit of a lap dog. Thank you for those kisses. She doesn't understand space bubbles. So if you want a dog that's going to be cuddling with you all the time, then maybe, and you have, you know, you're just a couple or a single person, maybe Nia would be a great fit for you. Based on our behavior assessment, she again is sweet and goofy, but can be easily overwhelmed. She's friendly when you approach her kennel, does need some work on house training. She does well with other dogs here, but we would recommend a dog-to-dog meet and greet. Difficult to walk because she can be a puller, but no issues with food aggression. In fact, she was afraid of and nervous of the artificial hand. She likes to be petted, so just a lot of great qualities, but just needs a home that's going to be a little bit more mellowed out for her. If you are interested in making Nia part of your family, you can visit her here at 1832 Rosemont Avenue, Monday through Saturday. The last dog that we have on the show for you today is another one of our black dogs. He would qualify for that $20 discount in your adoption fee. This is Prince, and he has been with us before. He was adopted as about a 9-month-old puppy, and now he's back at just over a year old, and he's still plenty of puppy in there. Prince needs somebody who's willing to work with him, to train him, make sure that he behaves appropriately and knows what appropriate behavior is. Things that we've found in our behavior assessment, previously he was still learning how to use his mouth appropriately, and we have him listed as doing maybe better with older children. So still working on that, knowing where his mouth is. Some dogs just take a little bit longer with that than others. So certain toys, having longer toys so that if you're playing with him, engaging him in play, he's not going to be right up on your hand is going to be important. Showing him what are appropriate things to chew on, not letting him get away with chewing on hands and things like that as well. It's not just about telling him no, it's about educating him as to what is appropriate. The other thing that we've really noted is that he has some odd body language that might confuse other dogs. So dogs communicate with us and with other dogs through their body language. And so he has some things that to another dog, even though he doesn't mean them in a certain way, might be interpreted differently. So for those reasons, we think that he would probably do best as an only dog. We're not saying that that has to happen, but that would be our preference for Prince, is that he go to a home where he would be the only dog. His interactions with other dogs really depend on the dog. He can be, difficult to obtain because he's jumpy and he's excited. When he's walking through the kennel, sometimes he bites at the other kennels and things like that. So another reason why we think he might do better as an only dog. But he really likes to be petted. He, doesn't really have a lot of issues that can't be worked with as long as someone is willing to devote the time to Prince and to really train him. Other things about him, he's super strong, so making sure that you're prepared for that. But he's also just really sweet and cute, and he's got those great floppy ears, and he's a goofball, and he loves to roll around and play. He's got a great pit bull smile, but he just needs someone who's devoted to giving him the appropriate training and making sure that he gets the right exercise, and just being aware of your dog's needs and how he interacts with other people and other dogs. If you're interested in Prince, you can stop in and visit with him here at Animal Control. Our hours of visitation are going to be Monday, Tuesday, and Friday from 10 to 5, Wednesday and Thursday from 12 to 8, and Saturday from 10 to 4. That's going to wrap it up for the dog portion of our show. If you're more into fantastic felines, then we've got a few of those for you just after the break.
The Frederick County Sheriff's Office now offers fingerprinting services 3 days per week, from Tuesday through Thursday. Our goal is to make it more convenient for citizens to have fingerprints taken for employment, licenses, permits, and other important issues like adoption and child care services. The Sheriff's Office will continue to accept credit and debit cards, checks, and money orders as payment for fingerprint fees. Cash is not accepted. For more information, contact the Fingerprint Information Line at 301-600-4058.
welcome back. Our first feline guest is Angela, and she is one of our shy animals on the adoption floor, actually. She kind of stays in her bed off to herself, doesn't really come to the front of her cage very much, but she's just coming alive out here on Tammy's lap. She is purring so loudly. I wish that you guys could hear it. She's kneading. She's super comfortable on a lap. So we're thinking that maybe she's going to be a lap cat for some loving family. She's a beautiful girl, and she is what we call a dilute tortie or dilute tortoiseshell. So typically when we see torties, they have the blacks and the oranges mixed in. The dilute version of that is just kind of whitewash. So instead of black, you see gray. Instead of orange, you see cream. Tortoiseshells are primarily cats. Tortoiseshells, calicos, and torbies all, I want to say 99.9% of the time are female. It's a genetic thing. And they can also have a little sassy streak in them. Some call it tortitude, but I have yet to see that in Miss Angela. She came to us as a stray, so we're still getting to know her a little bit. And what we're seeing right now is that she is a super affectionate girl who's very relaxed, just maybe not loving shelter life so much. Out on the adoption floor, it can be really loud, it can be really scary. There's lots of smells, there's lots of noises, there's people walking by all the time. But here on our set, where it's just a couple of people and it's a little bit quieter, she's definitely showing how wonderful she really is. She, again, came to us as a stray, so we've estimated her age to be between 3 and 4 years old, which is really a great age. It's past all of that kitten mischief, but still young enough to want to play and to be with you for quite a long time as part of your family. If you are looking for a relaxed lap cat, and a beautiful one at that, you can visit with Angela here at Frederick County Animal Control. Our visiting hours for our animals are going to be Monday, Tuesday, and Friday from 10 to 5, Wednesday and Thursday from 12 to 8, and Saturday from 10 to 4. If you have any questions about any animal, you can always give us a call before you make the trip. Our number here is 301-600-1546. This handsome guy is Wampus. That's right, you heard me correctly. His name is Wampus. He is 11 years old. He's cream and white, and he might be the biggest cat on the floor right now, weighing in at 18 pounds and 6 ounces. And he is on his 3rd stay with us here at the shelter. Wampus is big and handsome, and he has lots of awesome characteristics, but he also has some things that an adopter is just going to have to learn to deal with, which is why he's color-coded as purple. Apparently, in his last home, Wampus was marking his territory. So when we see that animals are having litter box issues, we go down and we look at maybe why. And it says that they only cleaned his litter box. It says, how often do you clean the litter box? 2 days. So maybe that's not enough for him. Maybe he needs his litter box cleaned every day or more than once a day. Also, given his size, he likely needs a very large litter box. So we have him, we've provided him with larger boxes than some of the other animals would typically have. And another thing that he does is he likes to sit in his litter box as well. Here in the shelter, that can be a comfort thing. It has their smell, it makes them feel more at home. Making sure that it is a big enough space to be comfortable for him. Also, there was another cat in the home, and he wasn't doing well with that. So Wampus might do better in a home where he is the only cat and doesn't have to feel threatened. Some people really have it in their hearts to adopt senior pets. Their age and how long they're going to live can vary. So he could be with you for actually quite a long time. Still, anywhere from, another year to another 8 years. We don't really know how long Wampus is going to have, but while he is here, he deserves to have a loving family. Other things that we know about Wampus, our volunteers have been spending time with him, and he will just purr, and he likes to be petted. But he definitely has a little bit of a moody streak, and he's older, and he likes what he likes. So just making sure that you're prepared to take on Wampus and all of his little quirks and work with him. He is deserving of a loving family, but maybe he would do better with adults and not, or older kids and not small children. And just understanding that he might not want to be on your lap all the time. He might be a cat that's a great companion for you and makes you feel like your house isn't empty, but you also give him a lot of space. So maybe you don't want a clinger. Maybe Wampus is a good option for you. If you have it in your heart to give this handsome senior a loving home to spend his golden years, you can visit us here at Frederick County Animal Control, 1832 Rosemont Avenue. This next cat is one of our adorable kittens that's available for adoption right now. As the weather stays warmer for longer, we have kittens for longer, and Ashley falls into that category. She is also a member of our Frady Cat program. So what that means is these guys are just cats that deserve a loving home, but typically are very shy, just need a little extra encouragement, confidence building, patience. Even though she was in a loving foster home, she got lots of attention, she's still feeling a little unsure, especially now that she's been brought back to the shelter to be made available for adoption. It's a much different environment. There's lots of loud noises, as we've already discussed, lots of people all the time, different smells. It can be really a scary place, especially when you're already a little shy and fearful. To kind of help Ashley come out of her shell, she was a singleton kitten that came in as a stray, so she was on her own. We paired her up with another singleton who was a little bit more outgoing, named Woodsy. But because Woodsy is so outgoing, he's getting adopted and leaving Ashley all on her own again. So she is used to having another animal companion. She likes to play with Woodsy, she hangs out with him, and she has a lot of potential. She just needs somebody who's going to be, again, very patient, not forcing her into too many new situations. She might do better in a home with older children, just so that they can respect her boundaries. There's not going to be as many loud noises, fast movements, carrying her around awkwardly, making her uncomfortable. And just, taking the time. We encourage all of our cat adopters to keep their cats in an isolated area, isolated room for 10 days once they adopt. For Ashley, she might need a little bit longer than 10 days in one room so that she can build up her confidence and get comfortable with the people in her new family. And she's not going to feel overwhelmed by an entire house. We don't want Ashley to be hiding underneath all of your furniture, preventing you from getting to spend time with her. So that room can really help with that, and providing her with secure places like little hidey hut beds and cat carriers where she can feel safe as well will be important. If you have it in your heart to really take the time to show Ashley how to be confident and to be loved, then you can visit with her here at 1832 Rosemont Avenue and maybe put in an application for Ashley. We would like to welcome Martini to the show. Martini has been on the show before, and she's one of our long-term residents. She arrived at the shelter back on August 22nd, and she is one of our cabana residents. She lives in our second cabana, which is a little bit more low-key. They tend to be a little calmer over there, and Martini likes to spend her days curled up in her bed. You can find her there pretty much anytime you visit the kitty cabana. She also likes to eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner in bed if you'll let her. Sometimes she can be a bit of a social eater here, but that can change because, as I mentioned, the shelter is kind of a scary place sometimes. And even though she lives in a room that is more like a home environment, there are still people coming and going all the time while we're open, and she does share a space with other cats. She's about 4 to 5 years old, and the cats that she's sharing a space with, namely Smokey, a little bit younger, a little bit more mischievous, so she kind of keeps off to herself a little bit. She's very sweet. She loves to be petted. She's pretty content sitting on a lap right now, but one of the things that I've learned about Martini while she's been with us is she's not a huge fan of being like picked up and carried around. She's more the cat that's going to come sit next to you, or you can sit down next to her, but she's not going to be really thrilled if you're trying to carry her around around the house. If you have a child that wants to play dress up with her, maybe not Martini's favorite activity. But if you're looking for a nice, quiet, relaxed companion cat, then she would be a great fit for that. You know, once she gets more into a home environment, she might be a little bit more active. It's a little bit more comfortable. But here, we have her color-coded green primarily based on, you know, her lack of affection for being vet checked. But here in her normal cabana, she's, again, very relaxed, very calm, very polite, mild-mannered. She gets along with the other cats, if only ignoring them, which is a good quality. So she could be a good cat to add to an existing cat household. Because she is a senior, she would go home for a senior discount, as would Wampus. Any cat that is 5 and up gets a 5 to 9, excuse me, gets a $20 discount, and 10 and up gets a $40 discount. If you are interested in Martini, you can visit her in the Kitty Cabana or follow them on Instagram at Cabana Cats. That's Cabana Cats with 2 Ks. Our last feline guest today is Shadow, and she too will qualify for that a discount in January because she is black and white. So it's not just going to be all black cats that qualify for that. We will list all of the animals that qualify, and they will have indicators on their cages that show that. So all of our male animals will have little black tuxedo jackets, and all of our female animals will have little black dresses on there, indicating that they never go out of style and that they will be adopted for that $20 reduction in their adoption fee during the month of January. This is Shadow, and she is a female domestic shorthair. She's black and white, and she's came to us as a stray, so we're estimating her to be approximately 2 to 3 years old. She's another one that often gets overlooked, but she's a fantastic cat. I've been spending a little bit of time with her myself, and she's one that was perfectly content being petted. She seems to be making herself right at home on Tammy's lap, but she's also very playful. You can engage her in play. She takes great pictures. She likes to pose a little bit for them. She just has a lot of potential. One of the great things about her is her white whiskers, which really make her stand out. They kind of lighten up her face a little bit and bring your attention to her beautiful eyes. So there's a lot of great qualities about all of the animals on the adoption floor, so it's hard to pick just one. But if you take a little bit of time and not even engaging with them with an open cage, but just kind of watch them a little bit before coming up to the front counter and asking to visit with an animal, you can see a little bit more about their personality. Some animals aren't grabbing for you. Shadow's not really one of those that's pulling you into the cage, but if you stand there, they're like, oh, hey, a visitor's here for me, and they will come down and greet you, rub up against the cage bars, and that's kind of where Shadow is. She's not super needy, but she loves the attention and the affection, and she just deserves a loving home. If you think that Shadow is going to be a great fit for your family, again, visit her here at Animal Control. You can visit Shadow or any of the animals here Monday, Tuesday, and Friday from 10 to 5, Wednesday and Thursday from 12 to 8, and on Saturday from 10 to 4. So that's going to wrap it up for this episode. We hope that you enjoyed meeting just a few of the animals that are available for adoption here. There are many more, and you can find all of those guys listed at pettango.com/FCAC. Have a great week, and we hope that you'll tune in again next time.